Okay, we're trying to determine what is bad with this string of lights. This thing has, this is our radio, has 700 lights in it. They're all wired in groups of 50. And it's hard to see in the video, but this is the 50th light. This is a 50th light. We have it on a red, green, blue pattern. So, come around to the back. We've determined that it is stopping right here. Can't see my finger, but we're going to try the old squeeze test, where you actually take a pair of needle nose and you squeeze the pixel. A lot of times that's a loose solder joint or something. Let's see what happens. Give it a little squeeze. There it is. Now watch as I squeeze that. So sometimes you get lucky. But see, that's not right. So now we know that this pixel is not sending the right, it's sending power. That's obvious because it's on. But it's not sending the right amount of data to tell these pixels to shut off. You know, when you're playing music, sending a lot of commands. Okay, we're going to kill the power to this before we cut this out. Don't blow any fuses or anything. So, we determined that this is the bad one, because this one was on and then it stopped right here and it wouldn't push data to the rest of them. So we're going to cut this one out. The good rule of thumb is cut the last known good one, because we don't know, I'm pretty sure, but we don't know if this one's not passing the correct data to this one, but I'm pretty confident it's this one. Because if the squeeze test, if this was just out and the squeeze test didn't work, I would say that this one is not passing data to this one to tell it what to do. So, but just to keep, you know, good practice, I already have two there. I'm going to cut this one right before the last known good pixel. And then I'm going to cut right past here, because this is the one that didn't pass the squeeze test. So we'll get started with that. You always want to leave yourself as much wire as possible. So we're going to go ahead and cut this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this one from the prop. Give us, there we go. And then we're going to cut this one right here, because this one's good. So now you're going to need to splice this thing. There's a couple ways. Got this dude right here. These are in the field. Quick, dirty, just clamp them down, you're good to go. They do all right. Every now and then I got to go back out there and give them a little squeeze. They got gel inside of them. Next step, you can make field repairs with these pretty good. I do use these most of the time. Got solder right there in the middle. That pink there, that's a gel. That melts, seals it all up. Then you're going to need pixels. Usually you can cut these out of a strand, you know, that you were too long, had to cut some off anyway. So, got them. I keep this. This is repairs. I keep the year that they came from, and I know by the color of the wire which vendor they came from. And unfortunately, the black wire is not doing so well. They all come from China. It's just which vendor uses the best vendor manufacturer in China, I guess you would say. Everybody says buy from a reputable vendor, buy from a reputable vendor in the States. You're gonna, for the sake of this, my wife watching this video, we won't say, well, we can say there are about 6 cents difference between this black wire and this red wire, okay, per light. This is a reputable vendor in the States. The red wire is a manufacturer that I went directly to, that I did my research, and as you can see, I have one. I've already replaced 3 of the black. I'm getting ready to cut number 4 out. This was the black was a 2,000 pixel order, so I've cut 4 out of 2,000. I've cut 1 out of 5,000 out of the red. So yeah, this was an emergency. Well, I'm calling it an emergency. This was planned, the red. So yeah, stick with the red, in my opinion. I won't say who. I'm not making a video to knock anybody. I'm just saying, do your research. Okay, you're gonna need some scissors. You're gonna need this handy dandy, money well spent stripper. These have 3 wires. They'll strip them pretty quick, and you need a heat gun. Now you can solder this stuff together with a good old soldering iron. Be honest, I don't feel like breaking all that out. Not when you got these. These are, yeah, they work great. So we're going to get started on this right here. Now we're going to go ahead and get these wires prepped. Got a dandy tool that I got. Nice. All 3 wires. Okay, so this ain't just twisting wires together, guys. I mean, there is a method to this. And I don't know if the camera can see it or not, but what we're looking for, I try to get to focus. See those numbers? 12 volt DI ground. So there's your power, data, and ground. Now what that's telling me is this side that I'm looking at is the input. Because if you'll see, another wire comes out. That's the output. Data flows one way. That way in, that way out. So now, we got to go back over to our prop. We have to find the output. And we have to make sure that it is coming into this input. So we're going to solder it there. It's going to flow into this input and then back out to the rest of our lights. You mess that up, you're going to be soldering again. Okay, we're going to put these together. Different this time. I'm going to go ahead and nope. All right. So we're just going to push these, kind of intertwine them there. We'll try to center that solder joint right up tight. And we'll heat it up. See it? That's good. And we'll seal it up on the ends. Done deal. Okay, we got a repair made. So basically this was, oh, this is the input. So this was our out. Made a repair here. Made a repair there. Alright, I found it. I thought I was going to have to go in there and get my bag. Now these lights are 68 rated, IPv68, which pretty much means, I think it's the highest rating, pretty much means they're waterproof. I mean, I can, as long as I put this plug together right, I can stick these lights in a bucket of water and they're going to work. You know, of course we don't, I'm not going to try that, but they're going to hold up to get them together and make sure you got that dude good and tight. Now, moment of truth. We were basically trying to feed this back side because that's where our data wasn't passing. So we'll plug it in here. Voila. Okay, so if you're going to get in the game, it definitely, you're going to have to be able to splice. It's just one of the necessary evils of this game. But hey, you know what else you're going to do on Christmas morning? You've already had your Christmas meal, breakfast, which we shared with our neighbors. Traditional quail, scrambled eggs, biscuits, and gravy. He's in his late 70s, and he's eat that every Christmas morning for as long as he can remember. So my first, so hopefully there'll be many more with the neighbors. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this part up. Okay, we're in test mode. I've only got 350 lights going. I don't have the other port plugged in because it works, and I wasn't dealing with that. But we got a test box here, which red, blue, green cycle. So yeah, I believe we're good. That's pretty much, it's not white, but that's putting the biggest strain on your lights right there. You're asking a lot of them. All right, good repair.